Deep text.
Elsie, Joanna's 3 months old now, right?
Huh? Why are you asking me that all of a sudden? Yeah, it's been about 3 months. Can you believe it? Time really flies.
Right? I do hope you're actually moving around now, are you?
Moving around? What does that mean?
What do you mean, what does it mean? It's freaking obvious what it means. No way. Don't tell me you're still not doing anything.
I'm asking you what it means because I don't know what it means. What are you talking about?
Job hunting.
Job hunting? Me?
That's funny. I don't see anyone else in the chat. Who else would I be talking to? Why do you insist on refusing to work?
What? Why? Because I only just gave birth?
Thanks, Captain Obvious. Jeez, you drive me up the wall. I wish you'd give it a goddamn break. All I hear from you is excuses. Excuses this, excuses that. I at least thought we were past you using the pregnancy to get out of working, though.
Oh my god, Neil, why are you talking to me like that? Can you stop?
Let's hear it then. How's the pregnancy stopping you from working now? You gave birth to Joanna 3 months ago, and you don't look like an overinflated balloon anymore. And you're pretty much back to normal. You plan on being a parasite forever?
A parasite? I don't exactly think it's fair to call me a parasite.
One of my coworkers had a kid lately, but you know what? She was back to work by the 4-month mark. Thank God the world isn't full of lazy excuse makers like you. Joanna's nearly 4 months old, so you either start looking for work and find her a daycare center real soon, or me and you are gonna have a major falling out.
Is the thought of letting me go at my own pace really that awful to you? People recover from things at different paces, and people are ready for things at different times. I'm not your coworker, and I have my own reasons. Besides, I fully intend to go back to work eventually. I just need a little more time. I'm just not ready to go back yet. I'm still in pain.
Oh, diddums! Aren't you just the world's biggest victim? Joanna's old enough to go into daycare now, and you know it.
It's true, she is. But I'm not holding back because of anything to do with her. I have problems of my own. Didn't I explain this to you before? I had a C-section.
That's why?
I didn't have a natural birth. You know full well they cut me open, and that's not that kind of thing you can just recover from overnight. My job's super physical, and I told you before Joanna was even born that returning to work was probably gonna take me a lot longer than most women.
Well, I don't agree.
What the hell has gotten into you lately? Why are you doing this now, after all this time? I explained this before birth.
Like I told you. God, you're so frickin' stubborn. I almost don't even want to waste my breath on you. You're blowing this way out of proportion. Just because you have a few cuts on your stomach doesn't mean you're incapable of work. You're just lazy. Lazy! You plan on lazing around the house forever like some repulsive little parasite while living the good life on my dime while I break my back at work, don't you? Don't you? Mark my words, that will not be happening. My mom was never like this. She was back at work straight after the birth, and she fulfilled her duties as a mother when she came home too. And all without a single complaint. What makes you think you're so special you get to abandon your duties?
I'm not abandoning anything. I look after Joanna 24/7. I feed her, clothe her, change her. I'm up in the night with her. My entire life revolves around that girl. Why do I need to hear this crap from you?
You reap what you sow. Slobbing around the house like an idle bum has consequences. And believe me, this is nothing. You're getting off lightly, if anything. If you're dead set on pushing me past my limits, you can say goodbye to any help around the house or with Joanna. Calling you a parasite would be an insult to parasites.
I'm clearly telling you that I do intend on going back to work as soon as I possibly can. It's just that I can't right now. Why won't you understand?
Because you're impossible to talk to. My job's super physical. Give me a break. You make it sound like you're a frickin' lumberjack. All you do is look after old people.
All I do? Whoa, you really have no idea, do you? The only reason you can say such stupid, ignorant things with a straight face is because you have absolutely no idea what it's actually like to be a carer. I told you how physical my job can get, but I guess it just went in one ear and out the other, just like everything else I say to you.
Man, some people really do live the easy life, huh? Imagine getting that much money just for looking after old people. Anyway, you listen and you listen good. The bottom line here is you will not be leeching off of me forever, you parasite. Oh yeah, when you do go back to work, you better make damn sure it's another care home job. You've got all the qualifications, and let's face it, you're no good for anything else. At least you get a decent salary doing that. That salary is all you're good for, and I want it.
Neil, today was your day off work, right?
Yeah, obviously. Are you blind? I was still home when you went out shopping.
Right. Are you still home?
Yep.
Why won't the front door open? Why does the lock look new? Did you have it changed while I was out shopping?
Woohoo! You and the brat are finally out of my hair. Nuisance expulsion complete.
Excuse me? Nuisance expulsion? What the hell? Wait a sec.
Did you get the message? I thought having the locks changed would send it loud and clear. If you're too stupid to understand, the message is, never come back to this house again. Begone, parasite!
No way! Is this why you asked me to go shopping? So you'd have time to change the locks?
Maybe.
Why? Why are you doing this?
What do you mean, why? Didn't I tell you? I thought I made it pretty clear I wouldn't be letting you leech off of me, you parasite.
Why can't you just have a reasonable discussion with me? Why did you have to do this? There are ways to go about things. What about Joanna? Where's she supposed to go? Where's she supposed to live? She's your daughter.
I wouldn't be able to look after her if she stayed with me. I don't know anything about raising kids. She'll be better off with you looking after her while you work. I just ain't got the time or the know-how for that kind of thing.
You won't be able to look after her. How's that possible? You're her dad. That's not something a dad would say.
Sorry, babe. This is just what guys are like. Kids are the woman's job. You really think someone like me is cut out for changing diapers?
You have no intention of letting us back inside the house, do you?
You can come back once you've gone back to work. If you can't do that, you no longer have a home. So get lost! We clear now? This is so simply what a dummy like you should understand it.
Fine, I'll go. But I need my things if I'm moving out. At least let me in to get my things together.
This is obviously just a ploy to get back inside the house. You'll only refuse to leave if I go along with it. You must think I was born yesterday. Nope, too transparent. Try again.
You won't even let me get my things?
I don't trust you.
Then get my things together and send them to my parents' house. We also need to discuss custody of Joanna.
We can do it over text right now just fine. This was real easy. I don't want anything to do with her. I can't have her around here if there's no one to look after her.
I'm glad to hear you say that. I take it you're prepared to pay all the money you're gonna owe me for kicking me and your daughter out on the streets like this?
Yep, gladly. Gonna be a drop in the ocean compared to the money I'd have lost having a parasite leech off me for eternity.
That means compensation and child support.
Yeah, whatever. I'll pay anything if it means getting rid of you once and for all.
Great. I'll send you the divorce papers and charges ASAP. If you're not willing to play any part in her life, you can at least fulfill your duties as her father financially until she grows up. Thanks for everything. I haven't received this month's child support payment either. Are you being serious, Neil? This is the 6th month in a row. What's going on? You need to stop this. If you don't pay up soon, you'll force my hand.
It's impossible. I can't. I just can't.
Huh? Impossible isn't my problem. You signed an agreement. I won't put up with it any longer. Pay up now.
It's impossible because of you!
Come to think of it, I did hear some interesting news lately. You lost your job, didn't you? Apparently your boss heard about how you tossed your wife and newborn baby out on the streets, and not being able to stomach the idea of having such a scumbag representing his company. Tossed you out on the street. I mean, it's the truth, right? You did everything he said. I don't see how that's my fault.
It's obviously your fault. If you'd just listened to me in the first place, none of this would have happened. But no, you had to be stubborn and disobedient, didn't you?
Disobedient? Oh, that's funny. I don't remember ever being your slave. This is pointless. You haven't changed a bit.
Besides, how'd you find out? About me losing my job.
I heard from one of my friends who works at your company. Her name's Claire. You know her, right? She joined the company as an intern a few months before me and you got divorced. Me and her are childhood friends. We go way back.
Childhood friends?
You should have seen her face when she found out you were my ex-husband. Her jaw practically hit the floor. We get on like a house on fire. We talk to each other about everything. Oh yeah, by the way, I heard something else interesting. You like her, don't you?
What? What are you even saying? No way! Nuh-uh! I don't like her at all!
That's funny. Just now she told me about how you invited her to meals after work literally every single day.
Huh? Just now?
Yep, just now. She's next to me. We were just talking about you.
Wait a sec! Don't believe a word she said! She's not to be trusted!
She told you she has a boyfriend at least 50 times by now. And in spite of that, you keep inviting her to hang out on your days off, you invite her on holidays, apparently you even try to follow her home. You message her at least once every 30 minutes and every message contains more emojis than an average high school kid probably sends in a year. She showed me that chat logs.
What? Hey, stop it!
What's the problem? We're divorced, aren't we? Besides, have you considered that finding out about all this is probably gonna make me lose patience for you even faster over the missing child support payments?
I'm sorry, babe.
Huh?
I liked your friend the whole time we were together. I know it's late, but yeah.
My friend? That's not what you usually call her, is it? What was it again? Clarykins? Say it. Who did you like the whole time we were together? You do want more time for the child support payments, don't you?
Clarykins. I like Clarykins.
To think the guy who was treating me like that was calling my best friend Clarykins behind the scenes the whole time? It's actually kinda scary.
I said what you wanted me to. Will you give me more time to come up with the money now? Please?
Like hell I will.
Why not? You just promised!
I have another bone to pick with you. Why have you been showing up at my parents' place lately? Does this have something to do with the child support too?
Huh? I knew it! You were there, weren't you? So that's why the bullies kept showing up. You pretended not to be home and called the cops on me? I can just picture you now, hiding behind the sofa while hitting the dialer in a panic, like some sniveling, cowardly rat. Are you incapable of talking things through like a mature adult?
Don't make me laugh. You're clearly describing yourself.
Seriously, babe, I'm begging you here. I've been practically living at the job center lately. I'm trying so hard. I can't find a job for the life of me. I want to work, but I can't. Please believe me.
Not my problem. Pay up.
I feel embarrassed talking about this. But my mom had to go back to work to support me. She had been retired and wasn't in the best health to begin with. She collapsed under the stress of it all. Remember how her and my dad weren't in contact anymore after they had a huge fight and divorced? Well, he showed up immediately when he found out about my mom collapsing and lost it with me in front of the whole hospital waiting room. I've honestly never seen him so angry. Then they made up, got remarried, and kicked me out.
Your dad sounds kinda cool. Great decision.
It was not a great decision. No, it was the worst decision of all time. I'm completely alone now. There isn't a soul in the world I can rely on.
You poor thing.
Right? That's right. Yeah, I am a poor thing. Which is why I'm begging you, please. Please help me.
What does please help me mean? Why don't you try telling me what you actually want?
Well, please take me in and look after me, just for a little while.
What? You? You want me to take you in?
I'm begging you, please! I've never been more serious about anything. I have nowhere else to go and no one else to rely on.
I'm pretty sure I already know the answer, but I need to confirm one last time. Am I right in thinking you're unable to keep up with the monthly child support payments?
Yes.
Okay, in that case, I have no choice but to deduct it from your salary.
Huh? No, I told you I'm unemployed. I don't have a salary.
Don't worry, you don't have to lie anymore. I know the truth. You work at Peeps Towers, the construction company, don't you?
What? No! What are you talking about?
Didn't I just tell you I'm with Claire right now? You really should try thinking before you speak. You see, Claire's boyfriend also works at a certain construction company, and he's constantly complaining to her about a certain individual. Apparently, there's this old guy who started at the company recently who'll do anything to avoid working, and her boyfriend is sick of it because he constantly has to cover for him. Her boyfriend finally reached his wits' end and quit the company yesterday. This old guy, who according to Claire is hated by everyone, was constantly complaining about the child support payments he owes his ex-wife. His petulant whining became so common that workplace morale was totally destroyed. And what used to be a nice place to work is now something people dread getting out of bed in the morning for.
Wait. No. You're lying, right?
Next, her boyfriend showed her a picture of the guy. Her jaw practically hit the floor again. Can you imagine how astonished she was to find it was the same old creep who'd been following her home and calling her Clary Kins this whole time? You know what the strangest thing is? The construction company her boyfriend quit yesterday also happens to be called Peeps Towers. That old man is you, isn't it? Having finally seen through the lies of the parasitic creature known as Neil, I succeeded a few days later in having the court deduct the child support payments from his salary. And with that, I received 6 months worth of unpaid child support in one lump sum before the day was out. He'd been blowing up practically his whole salary on letting off steam due to the stress buildup of starting in construction late in life, despite never being cut out for hard work to begin with. Having been forced to keep up with his child support payments and no longer having any savings, he was now living paycheck to paycheck and barely able to cover basic necessities. He might have fooled me for a little while, but the jig was up. He tried to leech off me his shameless lies, but apparently what he told me about forcing his mom to work to a point of such exhaustion that she has collapsed was true. After losing his job for the way he treated me and Joanna, he became a shut-in hermit and stopped contributing to the finances at his mom's place, which led to his aged mother having no choice but to find work. She collapsed on a factory production line during her 3rd week, and her ex-husband and Neil's dad, upon hearing the news, rushed over immediately. I guess the whole thing made them realize how important they really are to each other, because they got remarried before long. Every cloud has a silver lining, huh? As soon as his dad found out what he'd done, he vowed to cut him out of their lives and never have anything to do with him ever again, and with that, Neil was alone in the world. This all happened 2 years ago, and to this day, I'm still receiving the child supports at the beginning of every month, just as we agreed in court. Joanna's 3 now, but of course, she has no recollection of her dad. Instead, she calls my dad Papa now. As for me, I went back to work 2.5 years ago, and I've been working diligently ever since while looking after my daughter with my parents.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Hey, Randy. Sorry didn't notice your messages. So you have a favor to ask me? What is it?
Sorry to have to ask you this, sweet cheeks, but I really need some money.
What? Again? What is it this time? I'm not getting you another new phone, if it's that again. I just got you a new one last year. You can get at least another 2 years out of that one.
It's not my phone.
What is it then? A game? I just got you a new game for your birthday. I'm not getting you any more games, Randy.
Not for a game.
What do you want it for then? I'm sorry, but we're not in any position to be buying luxuries. We need to tighten our belts a little.
The favor isn't for me, it's for my mom.
Your mom needs money? Why? What happened?
It's the house. It's approaching its best before date, if you catch my drift. She won't be able to carry on living there much longer at this rate. It's been falling to bits for a while now. One day it'll be a door coming off its hinges, the next the hot water will just stop working for no reason. What's more, the roof's been leaking like crazy ever since the typhoon a few months back.
Really? I had no idea. That typhoon was nuts. They said the wind speeds were once in a century on the news. I honestly thought our windows were gonna be put out. I'm not surprised it did lasting damage to your mom's place.
Yeah, to tell you the truth, she's been asking me to help since a few years back now. It's not like I'm good at DIY, and I didn't really see exactly what I could do for her, so I always said no. But this time that place is really a disaster waiting to happen. I'd feel awful if I didn't help her fix it up and she had an accident. House is a death trap.
So you mean she needs some money to fix the leaky roof?
This is the thing. Fixing the roof would only be the beginning. There's just so much wrong with the place, I think we need to take some more drastic measures. Honestly, I think it's time for a renovation. The problem is, me and my mom don't have any money. I hate to ask you this, but would you mind giving us a little something out of your savings? You saved a lot back when you were single, right?
Me?
Well, please, Jessica, you're the only one we can count on. It's not just the leaks themselves either. Mom says the roof's full of mold because of all the water, and you know how dangerous it can be to breathe that stuff in. I'm seriously worried about it. We have to do something about that house.
A renovation, huh? A house that old is gonna need a lot of work doing on it. Renovations that big don't come cheap.
You're not wrong. It's almost 80 years old now. It's a miracle it made it this long without having any major work done. Nothing lasts forever, though. I think all the plumbing's probably gonna have to be replaced, too.
Probably. I wonder if my savings will even cover it?
Come on, babe. I bet you'd have enough money to buy a house from scratch if you wanted to. How much could a renovation on my mom's place hurt? I bet you'll barely even feel it, and my mom will be over the moon. Besides, we'd only be borrowing it. You'd get it all back eventually. So what'd you say, babe? Look, I'm begging you here. She said me and you are welcome to move in with her after it's all done.
Wow, really? Your mom said that?
Now, she was the one who suggested it, actually. I think she might be lonely without my dad around. Anyway, don't forget me and you will be inheriting the place one day. Think about it. Living there could be just what we need. We get to save money on rent, we can keep my mom company, and we can get used to living in our future home. I only see benefits. You always dreamed of us having our own home, right?
I see. I never thought she'd let us live with her. I guess that does change things. You know what? In that case, let's do it. So who's gonna be doing the renovation? Know any good companies?
Yeah, we haven't decided yet. We need to do some research and get a feel for what the market price on that kind of thing is first. Actually, now that you mention it, we're hoping you could find us someone. Yeah, don't you have any connections from your old job? You used to work for a construction company, right? I wouldn't know the first thing about building houses, and you see stories on TV all the time about cowboy builders ripping people off by doing a shoddy job and disappearing with the cash.
I was was just a receptionist. I guess there are a few people I can ask, though. There's no risk of running into any shady types if I ask around at my old company.
You're the best. You have no idea. I want to come over and give you a nice big sloppy kiss right now, sweet cheeks. My mom's gonna be ecstatic when she hears the news. Now she can finally start living like a normal human being again for the first time in years. I always felt uneasy about having her live all on her own in that dilapidated old house. I couldn't shake the feeling I'd failed her as a son.
I don't mean to be rude or anything, but to tell you the truth, it always seemed more like a haunted house than a home to me.
You can say that again. You have no idea how much I hate going in the summer. I've never seen somewhere so riddled with cockroaches. She even had a family of raccoons living in the attic one time. I wouldn't have believed it if I didn't see the little rascals with my own eyes.
I always felt so uneasy on the stairs because they're so steep. It's a miracle she managed to get by her own there all this time.
No kidding. Like I said, she's been talking about renovating the place for a while now. But the money dried up when my dad's business went bust. They didn't have the leeway to fix up the house because they were so preoccupied with putting food on the table month to month.
You did say she had a rough time of it in the past.
My mom's always been good to me. And I wanted to have the whole place renovated on my own dime as a way of thanking her for everything she's done, but well, my salary isn't exactly big league. Like, it feels pathetic to say it, but I don't even have any savings. That's why I'm super grateful for you, babe. I mean it. I can't thank you enough for this. Huh? You're off work today, right? Did you go out somewhere?
Did you just wake up? I got a call from the construction company, so I'm heading out to talk some things through with them. They said when they started taking the house apart, the supports and foundations were a lot more water damaged than they expected. They said they wanted to discuss where we go from here.
Yeah, I knew it. So it's rotten to the core. I guess it was naive of me to think everything would be fine after all this time. It's plain to see how messed up the floor was. It's not that hard to imagine it would have seeped through to the foundation.
The guy told me the entire thing would have to be ripped up and replaced. Obviously, it's not going to come cheap, though. He told me to be ready for the possibility of it coming to a lot more than we first expected. Apparently, they have a system where they can get secondhand materials at a discount price. That's what he wants to talk to me about today.
I see. Not gonna lie, I don't understand any of this, babe, so I'm just gonna leave it to you.
I explained everything to your mom, too. She said she wouldn't be coming either. Are you guys sure about this? This is her house we're talking about, and it's gonna be yours one day. Are you sure you don't want to hear what the construction company has to say?
It's not that we don't want to hear them out, it's just that we've got such a high level of trust in your ability to deal with this and see to it that my mom gets the renovation of her dreams, that we don't see any point in coming. Besides, you know everything we want doing with the place, and you worked in construction, so you're a lot more knowledgeable about all this than we are.
I already told you I worked on reception. I really think you should both listen to what they have to say, Randy.
Even if we did listen, what then? I'm not exaggerating when I say we know literally nothing about construction. They may as well be speaking a different language. It would just be a waste of mine and my mom's time. A receptionist picks up a lot of info about a workplace. But besides, you were there for a long time. You may not realize it, but your brain is a treasure trove of construction knowledge.
I'm not sure exactly what you think a receptionist does, but I can assure you I know next to nothing about the actual work itself. I mostly dealt with appointments and administrative stuff.
That still makes you a damn sight more in the know than me. Look, I'd probably only complicate things the second I open my mouth. You don't need me in your hair, babe. Things will go a lot more smoothly without me. Besides, you're the one paying for everything. It's gonna be your house one day. You can make these decisions on your own.
I'll still be anxious about moving things forward without any input from you. Anyway, my house? What are you talking about? I think you mean it's gonna be our house, not mine. I have a stake in this, and you should listen to what the construction company has to say.
Ah, jeez. Would you just drop it already? You're like a broken record. Look, you're my wife. It's a wife's job to deal with all things house-related. Like, surely you want to be the one to decide on the flow of the layout, since you're going to be the one doing the housework. I don't know jack about that.
Sure, I'd like to have a say in that. But still, deciding everything alone?
Relax. I said it's fine. Look, you have amazing taste, babe. I know that whatever you decide on will turn out great. You know what me and my mom want, so using that as your basis, mix in your own natural genius and talent and do something amazing with the place. We're giving you full creative license.
I'm just gonna tell them what you and your mom said.
Okay, just make sure you tell them so they do something amazing with the place. We're counting on you.
Don't you think this is getting a little... I have no idea you'd palm off the entire job on me like this. How is it fair that I have the weight of something this important on my shoulders? The least you can give me is some input.
I'm not palming anything off on you, babe. Don't be so dramatic. We just have a lot of faith in you.
That's a clever way of saying you're making me do everything. Would it really hurt you, or your mom, to help me out just a little bit on this? It's not like I'm asking you to do anything major. Whoopee! I'm finally on my way to my new house. Thanks for all your hard work, Jessica dear. You're a star. Your savings have been indispensable in turning that worn-out old shack into the home of my dreams. Is this how you treat your daughter-in-law, who just paid to have your entire house renovated? To think you announced your son's divorcing me on the day we were both supposed to move in with you. You're horrible. Was this your plan, all along? To use me to get what you wanted, and then toss me by the wayside when you're done? Aw, I don't like your word choice, dear. Use and lost by the wayside? Made me sound very unpleasant, which I am of course not. But my son was fully on board when I told him to divorce you. Thanks for paying for the renovation on my house. Next up, a new daughter-in-law. I knew it. You were using me for my savings to get your house fixed up all along, weren't you? You and Randy make me sick. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Thanks for saving up so hard. It's only right you use that money to make your husband and his family happy. That is your job as his wife, after all, dear. Is getting kicked out and divorced part of my job as his wife, too? You got some nerve. Why, yes, dear. Since you ask, yes, it is. Wake up and smell the coffee. You have no value to us beyond your savings account. It's time for us to say our final goodbyes. You ugly cave troll. I'll see to it that Randy picks someone better looking next time. Actually, that won't do. He never did have good taste in women. There's nothing else for it. I'll have to find your replacement myself. You're enjoying every second of this, aren't you? I see you and my husband are just as stupid as each other. Have you still not noticed? Stupid? How dare you speak to me like that, you insolent little cretin? Noticed what? Did you really think I didn't figure out your scheme? I can read you like a book. I figured out. You're only using me for my savings a long time ago. You did? Well, good for you, darling. Congratulations. So what? This changes nothing. The divorce is already set in stone, and no amount of kicking or screaming will change that. Stop being a sore loser and accept your fate. Please, I could care less about the divorce. In fact, there's nothing I want more. I have no intention of clinging to a lowlife like him. I will promise you one thing, though. You're not going to be laughing for long. I suggest you prepare yourself for what's coming, Jill. What does that mean? Are you threatening me? I couldn't help but feel like there was something fishy going on when you left the entire renovation on your house to me. It played on my mind. So I decided to take a look at Randy's phone while he wasn't looking. And what do you know? I realized exactly what was going on the moment I saw yours and his message history. You were snooping on my son? You vile creep! You're messed up in the head, you paranoid freak! You probably shouldn't have been so brazenly arrogant about what you were doing to me in those messages. Now I have no choice but to take a few retaliatory measures of my own. Retaliatory measures? What does that even mean? Now, what do I care? There's nothing you could possibly do to us now. The renovation is already finished. You have no power over us. You're right. The renovation is finished. Your new house is ready and waiting for you. I really think you should go take a look. What's that supposed to mean? No time to waste. Go on, Jill. Hurry up and go home. I can't wait to see your reactions. What have you done? This is my house? That's the reaction I was waiting for. You're behind this, aren't you? Yep. You and Randy are gonna be living there starting today. Welcome to your new home. I wish you a life of happiness and comfort. What the hell is wrong with you? I can't live in a house like this. The renovation's not even finished. It most definitely is. You're looking at the finished product. How can it be finished when the construction's only halfway done? You call this a renovation? Are you serious? It looks like it's ready for demolition. You guys said I could do whatever I wanted with the place. So I did just that. Exactly what I wanted. Forget wallpaper. These walls haven't even been insulated. It's just a skeleton. There's not a single door in the house. Even the front door is gone. This house isn't fit for a dog to live in, let alone me and my son. It's cool though. Don't panic. There's method to the madness. Randy told me he wanted to go for a stylish theme, so I did some thinking, and that's when it hit me. There's nothing more stylish than minimalism these days. What I did with your place is obviously a more extreme form of minimalism, but that just makes it all the more stylish. Things like doors, windows, and insulation are nothing but leftover of a bygone age. You just don't get houses that innovative. You're gonna be the talk of the town. Leftovers of a bygone age? But we need those things! What in God's name have you done to my house? You have no right to complain after leaving everything to me. You had plenty of opportunities to have a say in the design. Not just you, but Randy too. It was nothing but, we're counting on you, Jessica. From start to finish, I tried and begged and pleaded to get you to take some kind of active role, even if only a small role. But it was like I was talking to a brick wall. If you don't like how it turned out, then you should have overseen the renovation your damn selves. You could have at least showed up once in a while to check up how things were going. The fact you only just noticed despite the fact the builders have been working on it for months makes this completely and utterly 100% your fault. No, I simply cannot go along with this. Call the builders. Tell them to come back. Get them to finish what they started. They have a legal responsibility to do what you hired them to do. You're right. They do. But they already fulfilled it. Because that is what I hired them to do. Besides, you seem to be forgetting the small issue of money. Who exactly do you think is going to be paying for this second renovation? You said it yourself. I have no value to you guys anymore. And Randy just divorced me. So, yeah, we're done. You won't be getting another cent out of me. If you want another renovation, do it yourselves. Why do you think we had you pay for it in the first place? We don't have any money. You know that, don't you? You will not get away with this. Nope, that's my line. We're still not done here. Because you'll be paying me back every last cent I shelled out for the renovation. I already hired a lawyer. Some letters should be arriving in the post any day now. Have you ever been to civil court before, Jill? I suggest you make the necessary preparations. Oh, and it's not just the renovation money you'll be paying me. You'll also be paying compensation for the emotional distress you caused me.
Do not screw us around, Jessica. You have my mom's house stripped down to its goddamn frame. She's crying her eyes out here because of you. How do you sleep at night, you psycho?
Oh, hi, Randy. You're there too. What do you think of your new house? I hope you and your mom live happily ever after there.
I said don't screw me around, woman. This ain't a joke. This is our lives we're talking about here. Call the builders now.
Sure, I can give the construction company a call, but that doesn't mean they'll do anything else to the house. They did exactly as I asked them. So, as far as they and the law are concerned, the work is finished. If you want something more livable, you should probably go ahead and pay for another renovation.
You've really gone and done it this time.
Gone and done what? Exactly what you told me to? You should be more careful when you tell people to do as they please.
Is this a joke? What construction company worth their salt leaves a house looking like this? Surely they don't think this is normal.
They're professionals, Randy. Which means they do as much work as they're paid for, and not a smidgen more. If you want more work done, then you'll have to pay for it. And by you, yes, I mean you. I'm done eating into my savings for a pair of hateful ingrates like you. You're probably better off keeping a hold of your money for the time being, though. You're gonna have my compensation to think about soon, and believe me, I won't be going easy on you.
I've heard revenge stories before, huh? But who the hell takes revenge like this? You might have been mad with us, but that doesn't justify leaving my mom's house in this state. Surely you see this is going too far. How could you do this to us? This house has been in my family for generations.
If it's so important to you, you probably should have paid more attention to it. Isn't there even a teeny tiny part of you that thinks this might be your fault? And please, going too far? This is exactly what you deserve for what you did to me. If anything, I didn't go far enough. Good luck finding a new wife to live there with you. Something tells me you might have your work cut out finding someone who wants to live in a wooden frame with you. But who knows? Stranger things have happened.
You psycho bitch. You'll never get away with this. I don't know where the hell you're hiding away, but I'm gonna hunt you down, and when I find you, I'm gonna beat the living daylights out of you. I'm so glad we're getting a divorce. Screw you.
Did you just threaten me? Do you want me to bring even more charges against you? We can do criminal court as well if that's what you want. I really don't mind. It just means I get more money.
What? Hey, what? That wasn't a threat.
You're not the one who gets to decide that. Question is, did I feel threatened? I can't tell you how terrified and anxious I am right now.
No, please, stop. No more charges, okay? I'm begging you. Sorry, I didn't mean what I just said. I just got worked up and my emotions got the better of me.
Okay, I guess I'll let you off the hook. To tell you the truth, having all those trials to deal with would be a pain in the butt. But you do well to remember this. If you ever speak to me like that again, I'll press charges. No questions asked. Do I make myself clear? Well, answer me. I don't take kindly to being ignored. Do I make myself clear?
Yeah.
Insulting and threatening me should be the last thing on your mind right now. You should be getting on your knees and begging forgiveness.
Please fix the house somehow. Me and my mom can't live like this. We'll die of frostbite.
Sure you can. I have absolute faith in you both. Get some blankets or something. I know you'll be fine if you just try your best.
try our best. You're asking us to live in a frickin' wooden frame. We have zero defenses against cold, wind, or rain. It'll be more like camping than living in a house. Sure, there's technically a roof over our heads, but I hesitate to call it that.
Okay, so finish it up yourselves? It doesn't take a genius to hammer nails into planks of wood.
Don't be so ridiculous.
Then either quit your whining, suck it up, and give living there your best shot, or find somewhere else. Either way, you're not my problem.
How many times do I have to tell you we don't have any money? How can we find anywhere else when we're broke? Not only are we broke, we're somehow gonna have to figure out a way to keep coming up with the money for the storage container with all my stuff in. It was only supposed to be for a couple days. The bottom line is we're broke, so my mom's place is all we have.
Okay, looks like you don't have a choice then.
Please, will you just hold off on the whole compensation thing? We're gonna struggle enough as it is with how things are. We'd be finished if we had compensation to deal with on top of it. It's not that we won't pay. We don't have any way of paying you at this exact point in time.
Sure, have your way. How about selling off all of your belongings and canceling your insurance plan? Or why not try thinking outside of the box? How about quitting your job and retiring early so you can give me your entire retirement fund? Can you even do that? Ugh, I don't know, and I don't care. Anyway, the point is, you have more than enough ways of coming up with my money if you just use your head.
You're evil. How am I supposed to get by if I quit my job?
Not my problem. I don't care what happens to you as long as I get my money. You can both burn in hell for all I care.
Oh my god. Jessica, please tell me you don't really mean that.
Yes, 100%. And whose fault is it? Yours. You and your mom took me for a moron by manipulating me into fixing her house. Then you tossed me aside the moment you were done with me. That house is perfect for you now. I couldn't think of a more suitable place for a pair of scumbags like you to live. Looks like you weren't able to get your dream home or new wife after all, huh, Randy? I wish you and your darling mother the best of luck. You're gonna need living in that pile of junk. With that, the husband and mother-in-law from hell had nowhere else to go. They crept into the local garbage dump and stole some corrugated metal sheets to act as walls for their new house, desperate to make it livable somehow. It must have worked, because last I heard, they still live there. Apparently they even have a tent now. However, it wasn't all plain sailing. They were reported to the local authority by a concerned neighbor, and subsequently told to fix it up because it was dangerous. While all that was going on, I took the two of them to civil court, intent on getting my money back. I put in claims for the renovation money and compensation. They were forced to sell all of their belongings to come up with the money. Randy also quit his job to access his retirement fund because he mistakenly thought you weren't allowed to make withdrawals from it while still working. But it turns out you are. I only said that because I didn't know. He quit his job unnecessarily because he's too much of a moron to look into anything for himself. So now not only is his retirement fund gone, but he is also unemployed. Anyway, I got my money in the end, and that's all that matters. As for the terrible two, they didn't end up losing the house, but they also couldn't afford any more renovations on it. Which means, even to this day, the home passed down their family through the generations is nothing but a sorry-looking wooden frame. Having won back all of my money, and then some, I moved back in with my parents, where I'm currently living happily while saving up again. I have no idea what exactly I'm going to spend all this money on yet. But one thing's for sure, I'm spending it on myself this time.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Andy, can I ask you for a favor? Can you buy some adult diapers for your dad on the way home?
Ugh, why do I have to do that? You go and buy them.
I can't leave the house today. Your dad is sick right now. Plus, your mother asked me to sort out the garage.
I don't want to buy them. Buying adult diapers is embarrassing.
Oh, come on, don't say that. There's not enough in the house, so please buy some.
It must be fine for you to leave the house for at least a bit. Don't worry about my parents. It's not like they've gone senile or anything. Doesn't take long to run out to the store, so they'll be fine in that time.
I would normally go by myself, but I can't leave your dad alone this time. Just before, he was trying to drink some water, and it went down the wrong way, and he started choking. Luckily, I was there, but if it happens again, it could be serious.
Then why don't you just get them delivered?
And pay for the delivery fees? The diapers themselves are already expensive enough as it is. We're already basically paycheck to paycheck, so I want to buy them as cheap as possible.
Why didn't you just buy a bunch and keep them in the house?
Well, he uses more of them than you'd expect, especially now that he's sick and has an upset stomach. He was throwing up yesterday, right? Well, he threw up on the stock of diapers and ruined half of them. They're unusable now.
Then how about you ask someone else to go get them?
Someone else? Like who?
You could think about that. Surely there's someone you know who lives nearby.
Why don't you just buy them yourself? Then the problem's solved. Why are you being so difficult about this? It's not embarrassing at all.
I don't want the cashier to think that I'm the one who has to use adult diapers.
No one's gonna think that.
How do you know that? There's no way I'm going to get them. Don't expect them from me on the way home.
Fine, then when you get home, I'll go buy them. That way, you'll be there to look after your parents while I'm out of the house.
What? I'll be tired after work.
They're your own parents. Look after them for at least a little bit.
Shut up. I don't care. As soon as I get home, you better have some food ready.
Surely you can wait at least a little after you get back?
What's the point of you being a stay-at-home wife then? Why are you so bad at taking care of the home?
Hey, I'm taking care of your parents too.
So what? Looking after them, the housework, cooking, that's all work for the wife to do. I work outside of the house. You work inside it. We both just need to do what we're supposed to.
But there's no break from the nursing and the housework. It's day in, day out.
Having to leave the house and work with strangers all day is far more mentally tiring than that. Just having to do some chores and look after my parents, that's easy.
I didn't really want to say this, but your parents are kind of selfish. Or for whatever other reason, they're really strict with me. Having to look after them when they act like that, it makes it much harder.
Oh, so you're trying to say that you have it harder?
No, that's not what I mean. I just want you to understand that I'm also at my limit right now.
Is that so? Whatever. Gotta go back to work.
What about the diapers? Come on, Andy, I'm asking you, so please just go buy them. If not, I'll have to go before I make you dinner.
You're so stubborn! Anyway, I decided to go out drinking tonight. Don't expect me to buy them. I'll be home late anyway.
Hey, Andy, can you come home early today?
No, I can't.
Do you need to work overtime?
I'm going drinking with a client.
Going drinking again?
This is also one part of my job, you know.
You go out all weekend, and you've started drinking each weekday after work, too. Do you really expect me to do absolutely everything for your parents on my own?
That's your job, isn't it? Take responsibility for what you're supposed to do. And by the way, the house has been really messy recently. And you've been making less food. Stop being so lazy with your duties.
I can't do anything properly when I'm caring for your parents all day.
Don't blame this on my parents. Who do you think is the one putting the food on the table?
I didn't like the way you said that.
I'm just speaking the truth.
You've really changed since we got married, haven't you? You've become really cold.
Don't compare now to when we were dating.
I knew that I'd have to look after your parents before we got married, but you also promised you would help. But you don't do anything.
I'm busy.
You're just going out all of the time. Last time I washed your suit, a whole bunch of business cards from bars were in the pocket too, even though I'm doing the best I can to save money day to day. Do you really have money to go out drinking like that?
I'm not paying for my drinks. They're paid by someone else. I'm not spending our money on it.
Oh, really?
Something wrong?
Whatever, I don't care anymore. I wanted to talk to you about it at home in person, but I'll just tell you now. Your mother was diagnosed with dementia.
What? Dementia? Like she's gonna start forgetting everything and go senile?
Basically.
Seriously? I figured it happened sooner or later, and I guess it was sooner than I expected.
Maybe that's true. But I want you to think about putting her in an aged care facility.
It can't be that bad right now, so we can wait for now and keep her at home.
But we don't know how fast the dementia will progress, and it's not that easy to find a place in a home for her. We'll have to wait for a place most likely. There's a lot to research and sort out in order to get her a place, so we should do that as soon as possible.
I said it's fine. This year, just look after her at home. We'll think about putting her in a home next year.
It's really difficult to look after someone with dementia.
But you've got experience with that, right? Your grandmother also had dementia, didn't she?
Yeah, she did. That's exactly why I'm telling you that it's better to put her in a home.
I'm relying on your nursing skills. That's also one of the reasons I decided to marry you.
What? You chose to marry me based on that?
No, it wasn't just that. It was a big part of it, though. We got married pretty late, so it's natural to think about that, right?
That may be the case, but I really didn't want to know that.
Oh, really? I'd say that's something to be proud of, though.
Andy, I'm going to be clear with you right now. I have no intention of looking after your mother with dementia.
What are you talking about? I won't allow you not to.
Your mother has been getting really aggressive recently. She's always abusing me verbally and pinching me. She even started throwing things at me.
Come on, she's an old woman. How strong can she be? Don't worry about it too much.
She's much stronger than you think, Andy.
Look, if you have time to complain like this, why don't you go clean the house? Complaining without actually doing anything is something only lowlifes do, right? That's what I've been saying about the housework recently. Isn't it all a little half-assed?
How could you say something like that? I am doing absolutely everything I can.
Like what? I'm saying this exactly because you're not doing what you're supposed to. Now hurry up and do the housework. Having to care for my parents isn't an excuse to get out of that. Oi, where are you? I finally come home early and you're not around. Not even looking after my parents. Where'd you go?
As if you care.
What's with that attitude? My parents are yelling about something. Just hurry up and come back. And what about food? It looks like you haven't made anything.
There's cup noodles on the table. Why don't you eat that?
Watch it. Quit messing around. You really think it's fine to give your husband cup noodles for dinner? Don't think you'll get off easy if you do this again. Just hurry up and get back here. My parents are calling you, so go quiet them down.
Asking me to come back? What, you haven't realized yet?
What are you on about?
There's something else on the table, right? The green document?
What? Divorce papers? What the hell is this? Are you trying to tell me you want a divorce?
Yep, I can't live with you like this anymore.
Who's gonna take care of my parents?
Like I care. They're not my parents. After we get divorced, they're just complete strangers to me.
We're not divorced yet.
But we will be. If you don't sign the papers, I'll get the courts involved for a mediated divorce. You have 1 week.
You think you can decide on divorce in just 1 week?
Fine, I'll go through the courts. I never want to live with you ever again. I'm leaving.
What? Who do you think has been providing for you all this time?
What, for like a couple of years? We got married quite late, and I've been doing all the housework and looking after your parents. Who do you think has been making everything work?
Don't lump housework in with real work.
Both are work. Do you want to try to calculate which one of us actually worked more?
My parents are calling you.
I don't plan on coming back.
What, you're just gonna leave 2 elderly people who need care and go?
Oh, the people who have been abusing me even though I took care of them? I don't feel anything at all about leaving them. In fact, I want some thanks for all the time I spent caring for them up until now.
You're the worst. Even though we've lived together until now. Don't you feel anything at all?
If I did, I wouldn't have left.
You know that getting divorced at your age is the end for you, right? Who do you think is gonna want some old woman who can't even be a proper housewife?
I don't plan on relying on someone else.
Fine, let's get divorced. You useless hag. And don't crawl back here crying either.
Andy, it's been a week already. Have you signed the divorce papers?
Karen, can you give me a little more time?
More time? The divorce is decided already. All you need to do is sign the paper. Once you've done that, I'll come pick it up and submit it. There's nothing else you need to do. How we split the assets will be taken care of by the lawyer.
Don't you want to rethink the divorce?
Huh? Last week you said you'd sign the papers, right?
I realize how difficult it is to look after my parents. I've changed my mind. Now that I'm by myself, I finally understand how much hard work you were going through. This is nothing like what I had to do when I was single. That was more just like helping them, not taking care of everything.
Well, it's been a few years since we got married. Looking after them was always going to get more demanding.
Man, they're both really selfish too, aren't they? If the diapers aren't a specific brand, they won't even put them on. It's hard to get them in the bath too. They can't move on their own that much, but man, do they still know how to talk. Look, I'm really sorry. I really put you through a lot.
It doesn't matter if you apologize, it's too late.
I promise that I'll help you look after them from now on. I definitely won't leave it all to you. So please, just come back.
No.
Please! I'm begging you. At this rate, I can't even go to work anymore. I've been using my paid leave since you left, but that won't last forever. This is impossible on my own.
So why don't you put them in a home?
You're the one who said that we can't get a spot for them straight away.
I told you that we should look for one, but you stopped me. You're the one who left everything up to me and made me leave. You're the reason it was so difficult to look after your parents. You didn't do anything at all to help me. It is your fault.
I know that. That's why I'm apologizing. I really realize my mistakes. Nursing old people really isn't something one person can do. I'll make sure to make preparations for putting them in a home. So please, come back. Let's just give it another shot.
Look, I didn't leave because of your parents. I left because of your attitude and the way you spoke to me. I couldn't stand it. You left everything to me and did nothing yourself. All you did was go out drinking and spending money all the time. You barely even gave me enough to get by each day. And despite the fact I had my hands full with your parents, you told me that I better not slack off on the rest of the housework. So, how is it doing everything by yourself? Do you have time to get to all the chores?
I'm sorry.
My feelings for you kept getting weaker and weaker. Now, there's nothing left. It's at the point where even the good times we had together are stained by how bad you made me feel. I can't think of anything except divorcing you.
You're right. I've been acting really badly towards you recently. But I promise, I'll treat you much better from now on. Just like when we just got married. I'll treat you really special.
This coming from the person who became cold and distant as soon as we got married? I lied to myself and tried to keep our married life going. But even then, you told me that you married me just because I had some experience looking after the elderly. That was your plan the whole time, wasn't it? Marry me and force me to look after your parents instead of you.
You're wrong! I promise that's not the case.
Then why did you marry me? Because I happened to have saved a bunch of money while I was single? Because you thought I was just some discarded woman that would do whatever you said for a chance to get married?
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I promise I'll change. Just don't leave me. Come back to me. Karen, please.
I can't trust even a single word you say. Everything you say and do is just an act. Remember, I'm just some useless old woman, right? I can't be of any use to you, right?
I was wrong. I'm the useless one. I'm really, really sorry. I was wrong. Please forgive me.
If you've got the time to send me these texts, why don't you use that to do the housework? Go ahead, you can make time for everything. That's what you said, right? Don't think I'll forgive you for saying all of those things to me when I complained about needing help. even if you come crying, I'll never help you ever again. Since then, I got ready to take the divorce to court, but my husband contacted me and told me that he signed the papers, and I was able to get the divorce without any problems. He must have finally realized that no matter what he said, I wasn't coming back. The assets were split between us, and I was finally able to get away from that family. I felt so relieved. After that, my ex-husband apparently looked for a nursing home and even hired an in-house nurse. But he still had to continue to look after his parents once he came home from work, and the stress took its toll, and he ended up collapsing and being taken to the hospital. He only contacted me one time to ask me to bring him some things while he was in the hospital, but I pretended not to see it and didn't reply. Once, about a year after the divorce, I walked by his house where I used to live. The front lawn was completely overgrown, and the house gave off a sense that no one lived there at all. I have no idea what my ex and my former in-laws are doing now. But since whatever they may be doing has nothing to do with me, I don't care to even find out. After the divorce, I went back to live with my parents and recover from the stress that built up while I was married. Now, I'm working at a company started by one of my superiors from a company I used to work at. Although it's busy, each day feels full and I am satisfied. If I hadn't divorced my husband, there's no way I'd be able to live such a carefree daily life. I'm scared to think of what would have happened if I had remained living as I was. My ex-husband never wanted to spend money on care for his parents or for anything we might need in the house. I'd probably be looking after them in those miserable circumstances until they passed away. I'm really happy with how things are now, and from now on, I'm going to focus on caring about my family and those around me who care about me.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.